So yesterday, one of the big stories of the day was His Excellency President John Mahama talking about the code of conduct for his appointees. And I'm sure most of the papers will focus on that story. Let's see the first one that will pop up on our screens. The Ghanaian Times, indeed, leading with asset declaration press to dismiss non-compliant appointees, launches code of conduct. And we're seeing the president pictured there. Of course, yesterday, big story as well, the coalition of political parties demonstrating, demanding the reversal of the Chief Justice's suspension. And you'll get details of these stories in today's edition of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. The Daily Graphic also leading the banner, failure to meet asset declaration deadline, government appointees lose 3 months' salaries, non-compliance by May 7 results in dismissal. So May 7 tomorrow, if you're an appointee and you haven't done that, then you out the door you go. Protesters want CJ suspension reversed. The other big story from yesterday, Ghana throws away 762.32 billion Ghana cedis in food annually. Wasted. It said that it's higher than the global average, which is quite concerning. Big money there. So those stories you can find in today's edition of the Daily Graphic. The Chronicle also going the demo way. Osahin yells judiciary is being intimidated as coalition of political parties bare teeth at Mahama. Tripoli lands are also in the news. 7 suspected land guards granted bail. So lots to unpack with the demonstration and also with the appointees. So that's today's edition of the Chronicle newspaper. The Daily Guide, opposition parties hit streets over CJ's removal, also dominating the banner here. Declare assets tomorrow or dismissal. Mahama to appointees. COP interdicted for possessing tramadol. Otumfuo clocks 75 today, and big birthday celebration for the Asante-Hene in today's edition of the Daily Guide newspaper. The BNFT NPRA boss advocates shift to alternative investments. GSE rally set to continue. Professor Douglas Boateng unveiling 2 books and others, all in today's edition of the BNFT. Okay, so that would be all the papers that we'll look at this morning. But the big stories, of course, remains the president's code of conduct and that big demonstration. And I'll be sitting down a bit later to get some more insights into the demo. But Kaf and his guests will get into the crust of the matter before I sit down with my guest at 8:30 for the hashtag Save the Judiciary demo conversation. Kaf, are you still interested in dancing? That's not.
That's a dance.
Than that man, but over to you, Kaf.
Oh, let me see. It's just great. My heart is pumping. I'm ready for the news and in the stories. My guests are ready, seated for the conversation. John Kuuku Johnny is a forensic psychiatry specialist. And sitting next to him is his good friend, Professor Daniel Bruce, who is a clinical psychologist. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
And welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We're going to start with what is in the news, and it has to do with the launch of the Code of Conduct for presidential appointees, ministers, deputy ministers, heads of state agencies, staffers, all of them. It was done yesterday, and we want to bring you a bit of that, and then we go into the details of that particular event that took place yesterday. There were 2 big stories yesterday, the launch of the Code of Conduct and then the demonstration, the Save the Judiciary demonstration. But before that, let me just remind you about flying Passion Air, because they are Ghana's favorite domestic airline, and from Accra, Kumasi, Tamale, Takrady, Wa, and Sunyani, they connect you faster. So visit flypassionair.com to book now and experience the ease of connecting Ghana one city at a time. We're happy. They supported us during our Heritage Month last month. We're really 2 months ago, and we're really grateful. Now, some excerpts from the Code of Conduct launched by the President yesterday.
Don't have a heart attack when you receive your copy. Ministers of State, Deputy Ministers, members of the Council of State, presidential staffers, head of agencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. In my 120-day social contract with the people of Ghana, I pledged to restore discipline, integrity, and accountability into our governance. Today, we're taking an important step towards fulfilling that promise with the official launch of the Code of Conduct for Political Appointees. This code represents a bold declaration of the standards we must uphold as servants of the public. It reflects our commitment to build a government that is ethical, responsive, and worthy of the people's trust. Let me be clear. This document is not a ceremonial one. It is a living and enforceable framework that outlines what is expected of every individual appointed under this administration. Though the document often uses the term minister, it applies broadly to deputy ministers as well, to presidential staffers, to chief executive officers and their deputies, to members of the Council of State, to board members, and other political appointees within the executive arm of government. And I include myself. It applies to my vice president, myself, the president, the chief of staff, the executive secretary, all advisors. All of us are bound by this code of conduct. This is a government of shared responsibility, and there will be no sacred cows. Why do we need a code of conduct? Because we must build a new political culture, one that is rooted in transparency, humility, and ethical leadership. Ghanaians deserve leaders who serve with honor and put the public interest ahead of their personal gain. This code is designed to guide our actions and decision-making and to make clear the consequences that will happen when we fall short. Now let me highlight a few key principles and provisions of the code. All political appointees must serve the public with integrity and impartiality, must place the national interest above their personal interest, must avoid misuse of office or state resources, must declare and manage any potential conflict of interest, must eschew opulence, be accountable for every cedi or public money you spend, and be humble in service, measured in language, and respectful to citizens at all times. You are not in office to wield power. You are here to serve the people of Ghana. The second is conflict of interest. Any situation that creates a conflict between your personal interest and your official duties must be avoided or disclosed. This includes holding stakes in companies that deal with government or with your ministries, using insider knowledge for your personal benefit, awarding contracts to entities that are connected to yourself or your close family. If you're a dormant partner in any business engaging with the government, even outside your ministry, you must disclose it in writing to this office. Not through a telephone call, not through a relative. You must submit an official declaration. Failure to do so will result in disciplinary action. Number 3, interest of friends and family. Public perception matters. You must avoid making decisions that benefit your relatives or your close friends. You must not recommend them for contracts or appointments. If your actions give even the appearance of bias, you compromise the integrity of your office. Number 4, gifts and hampers. We all know our cultural fondness for gifts, but we must now draw a clear line between appreciation and influence. Appointees are prohibited from accepting gifts or favors, especially from companies or individuals with interest in governmental decisions. If a gift is received during an official engagement and its estimated value exceeds 20,000 Ghana cedis, it must be declared. And upon leaving office, the gift must be surrendered unless expressly permitted to retain it by the President. As for hampers and gift items, no government funds, including internally generated funds, are to be used to purchase or distribute hampers. The only exception is modest gifts to staff as a reward for excellence or retirement. For government entities that must distribute hampers or gifts as part of their corporate commercial policy, express permission for the budgeted expenditure must be received from the Office of the Chief of Staff. Ministerial travel. All official or unofficial travel outside Ghana must receive, and the word is prior approval, from the Chief of Staff's office. And after each official trip, a report must be submitted on the trip, and any impressed retired within 14 days after your return. Where government is footing the bill, the trip must be necessary, it must be budgeted for, and aligned with national priorities. Retroactive approvals will no longer be entertained. Prohibition on purchasing state assets. No political appointee under this administration is permitted to purchase state assets, whether land, vehicles, shares, or buildings, directly or indirectly. If you attempt to do so and you are found out, your appointment will be terminated. We are here to protect the national interest, not to help ourselves to the national purse. Sanctions for violation. The code sets out consequences for breach, public apology, from public apology to reprimand, to suspension, to resignation, or ultimately termination. Let me assure you that these sanctions are not cosmetic, they will be enforced. And I will not hesitate to act firmly and decisively, no matter who is involved. Kindly do not put me in a position where I have to make that drastic choice. Because when it comes to protecting the integrity of this government, I will not compromise. Citizen engagement and reporting. Accountability does not end at the walls of this room and in just one code of conduct. I invite the citizens of Ghana to play a role in monitoring compliance of this code. A portal will be created for the public to report suspected breaches with guarantees of confidentiality and impartial investigation. Ladies and gentlemen, what we launched today is more than a code. It is a declaration of intent. It is the foundation of a new ethos in public service, one that values ethics over expediency, duty over indulgence, country over self. We're here to serve and will serve with honor. On the 18th February 2025, I set a deadline of 31st March 2025 for all appointees who are taking office or being nominated at the time to declare their assets. An update provided by the Auditor General to my office indicates that some of you failed to meet that deadline. For all those who are appointed or nominated before 31st March 2025 and failed to meet the deadline, you are to forfeit 3 months of salary to be donated to the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, named after me, Mahama Cares. In addition to 1 month's salary that I've asked all appointees to donate to the Mahama Cares Trust Fund. So it means that those who omitted to declare assets by the date, you are paying 4 months' salary to Mahama Cares. However, if by close of day Wednesday, 7th May 2025, any of you still fails to declare your assets, count yourself automatically dismissed. The assets declaration regime is an important mechanism to check corruption and abuse of office, and it must be respected by all. My brothers and sisters, this is a very strict code, I must admit. But if we abide by this code, it will restore the faith of our people in our democracy. Strict compliance with this code will restore confidence in the political elite and help to consolidate our democracy. And so I expect all of you to do your best to abide by the code. Let us walk this path together with discipline, with humility, and with an unyielding commitment to the people of Ghana. Go ye forth and comply. I thank you, and may God bless us all.
John Mahama chapter 1 verse 2. Go ye forth in King James style. Interesting stuff here. So Johnny, what do you make of what you heard about the launch of this code of conduct?
Let's say good morning to everybody now. I think by now the Afro, what they call it, the survey and researches on politics suggests that the youth are not interested in what is happening in this country or in Africa. And that's why I have a lot of migration of youth going to Europe and America and all that. It means that we therefore have to reset our politics and change the way we do things. This essentially is to do with accountability and how people behave when they are not only in politics, but even in the field of medicine, in the field of nursing. You are expected to behave in a certain way. But you know, when you don't tell them or give them a pamphlet that this is what I expect of you, when they misbehave, it's very difficult to grow on them.
I'm glad you've said that, because we'll pause for a moment and just go on the line and speak with Deputy Government Spokesperson Shamima Muslim to pose some questions to her. Shamima, good morning. Welcome to the show. Just going straight into the launch of the Code of Conduct. Yesterday, we heard the President say there are no sacred cows. What specific checks will stop the President or Vice from overruling disciplinary actions against their own appointees? Shamima, can you hear me? Please turn the volume on your set to 0. We need to clear up the line. Shamima, can you hear me? No, we can't hear her. So.
Hello.
Shamima, can you hear me?
Hello.
Shamima, can you hear me? This is Kafui, GTV.
Hello.
Hello. I think we have a problem. We'll have to cut the line.
You guys sound very far away.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Welcome to GTV Breakfast. Just referring.
Thank you, Kafui.
Thank you so much. Referring to the launch of the Code of Conduct yesterday, the President said there are no sacred cows. I'm wondering, are there any specific checks to stop the President from overruling any disciplinary actions against his own appointees?
I'm not sure. Are there any checks?
Yes. What will stop the President from overruling an action that has to be taken?
Kafui.
Hello. She can't hear me. The line is not clear.
Hello, Kafui. Can you hear me?
Shamima, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Shamima, can you hear me? We have to cut this line,
yes.
Producers. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Loud and clear. I can hear you too. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
It's clear now.
All right. So the President said there are no sacred cows. What does that mean?
What it means is that no one is above reproach and no one is above the sanctions that would come to them should they breach any aspects of the code. Also to communicate quite clearly that he intends to strictly apply the code to every one of us, to everyone, from the minister to the CEO to deputies, to everyone. And he has a raft of options available to him. And remember that this is his internal code to ensure that at least his appointees that he is invited to form this reset government with should be aligned by value, by character, by conduct.
All right.
So he needed to put something on paper so that we are aligned with the knowledge and the expectation that he has of us, even as, you know, we all do our work in whatever capacity it is that he has invited you to work. And again, you could be asked to grant a public apology for maybe a misconduct that has come to his office. You can receive a formal reprimand, a resignation, a suspension, or a termination. These are all options of sanctions that the code contains.
All right. The code bars appointees from buying state assets. I'm just wondering what safeguards exist to prevent relatives or proxies or even shell companies from making these purchases on behalf of appointees.
Right. It is stated very, very clearly in the code. And that's one of, I think I described this as the greatest litmus test for the integrity of the administration would be how much we comply with this. Because for me personally, this is one of the most unconscionable acts and actions by persons who have come into public office, elevated into positions of power and influence, and then using that position of power and influence to acquire state assets for pittance. I think many of us agree that it does not sound ethically and morally right. And again, people have found ways out of it. They would use close relatives to acquire these properties in the name. If you are a public official and the taxpayers' money is being used to take care of you, the least you can do if you want to acquire a property is to go to the open market and acquire that property. There should be nothing at all wrong with that. But you should not use your influence, your access to get assets that you would not have gotten but for the sake of that position or that influence. So the checks and balances will be there. The president has given indication that everyone is being watched. He's even directed that there's going to be a public portal, and people who have information of any breach of any aspect of this code, including the aspects that you've just referenced, can provide such information.
What are the guarantees that their identities will not be revealed? Sometimes you blow the whistle, and before you know, they are telling you who the whistleblower is, and then your safety is compromised. What are the guarantees?
Well, so the guarantee is the commitment of His Excellency. In fact, we've just done oral. The oral report has been presented. Have you heard the mention of any of the whistleblowers who came to the oral committee? So I think if there's commitment, there's also that commitment to protect the whistleblowers. And again, a lot of the portal requests are going to be anonymous. So you don't have to disclose your identity if you don't want to disclose your identity.
All right.
Sometimes it's the laborers who know whose property this is.
Exactly so.
They'll tell you that you go into an area of construction and you'll be told that this place is for this minister or this place is for, this security person or this person. Okay. So the public does have information. And if they feel that any member of the government is breaching any aspect of this, can make reports. Because ultimately it's the public that interface with, the appointee. So if the minister if the president says that exercise your authority with prudence, with respect, with responsiveness to your public and without arrogance. And then there are incessant reports that you're being arrogant to everybody that comes around you. Those reports will find a way of going into the ears of the president. Right. And then he would have the right
to take action,
reprimand you in the way that he thinks, is appropriate.
Briefly, I have two guests here, Professor Bruce, Mr. John Kuuku Dsane. I wonder whether they have any questions for you. Prof. Bruce, do you have any questions for the Deputy Government Spokesperson?
Oh, me, what I want to ask is, would they give copies to all appointees?
Okay.
To read and sign that this code of conduct applies to me. If I violate them, I'm ready to be punished by whatever follows.
Okay, so that's one question. Mr. Dsane, do you have a question for Shamima?
Internally, will you have a mechanism where there's somebody who wears a hat, who works as a public servant, and also somebody who, if an accusation is made, and somehow he doesn't think it is right, and he needs to be saved somehow, you need somebody to, as it were, speak on his behalf, like a union rep or something like that within the system?
All right. Do you have any such arrangements, Shamima?
If I had the question right, you're asking if there will be opportunities for redress if a matter involves an appointee.
Right.
Of course, the Chief of Staff office is the Chief of Staff to all of us.
Right.
And so if a matter goes before the Chief of Staff, you will be granted the right of response.
Okay.
And then the Chief of Staff would take the requisite recommendation to the President based on what he finds out as well.
And the earlier question was whether all the appointees will be given physical copies of this document to sign.
Right.
Yes, everybody. So the President did say yesterday that see it as your Quran or your Bible. And so you read. And the Chief of Staff also did indicate that you cannot plead ignorance of any aspect of the code once the code has been given to you.
That's right.
So everybody is expected to read it thoroughly and understand the various guidelines. And there are very key rules to look out for, rules surrounding conflict of interest situation, rules about what you can use your office for, ministerial travels, for instance, and permissions and procedures. You know, that you must seek permission before you go, not go before you come and inform. And when you travel, whether official or unofficial, you must come back and give reports regarding what exactly you want to do. There are also key rules around, you know, the obligation of a minister as an employer, you know, also the use of your budgetary allocation and the discretion you have, the limits that you can go with those discretions. There are harrowing reports of how CEOs would come to the account office and expect 400,000, 40,000 cedis every week, every Friday, to go for his weekend. And that claim has been made by a worker of one of these state entities that is today in red, that every week this CEO comes and demands 40,000 Ghana cedis. I mean, this cannot be justifiable by any stretch of imagination. Also, key rules around the issue of gifts and what you can receive or what you cannot receive. Again, the President made an example yesterday. He had received gifts of 2 vehicles. He has since handed them over to the state, for instance. So the financial management and asset management as well, which will include salaries, budgets, office facilities, and expenditure authorizations, are all key rules you need to look out for, and how you communicate with the public and what you say to the public.
All right, Shamima, finally, I must ask you this. Have you declared your assets?
Hey, like, will I be talking like this?
Is that a yes? Is that a yes? Is that a yes?
It's a very clear yes. Long before the deadline, I have declared my yes.
You're not at risk of being fired?
Oh, no.
Stay in the seat.
And people have up to tomorrow.
Yes, indeed. How many people are affected by that tomorrow deadline? Do you know?
No, I have no information on that.
Okay. Well, we thank you so much for your time, Shamima. She's deputy.
Thank you. My regards to your guests as
Definitely so. They will hear from you. Shamima Muslim is deputy government spokesperson, and she's given us some clarifications on the launch of the Code of Conduct. We'll be speaking with Mr. Vitus Azim as well, anti-corruption advocate, on his insights onto this particular issue. But Prof, is anything else you want to comment on?
Yes, I think it's a very good approach. And it reminds me of those days we're giving courtesy for boys and girls. Every day, when you go to school, you read it. And it has molded some of us, our character, to the point that still we practice those things. So if you have the Code of Conduct by you, and you read it every morning like the President says, your Bible or your Quran, then I think it will regulate them. They may become political saints. And that way of saying politics is all about corruption and massive wealth will have been a thing of the past. So I support it. However, I think when the President was reading some of the behavior or the conduct or the ethical rules, it came to my mind that a gentleman went to Jesus Christ and said, what do I do to inherit the kingdom of heaven? And he said, you know the moral code, the 10 commandments of... He said, oh, I've been doing all those things. And he said, but you lack one thing. Go sell your properties, share the money to the poor, and come and follow me. So if that is the condition to go to heaven, Jesus, take your heaven. I think some appointees, they may behave like this gentleman. they will say, if these are the implications of holding political office,
take your post.
It's difficult to. But we pray that I would have wished that with the numbers in Parliament on NDC, if this can be passed into law,
the kind of conduct law.
Yeah, so that it binds all political office holders, irrespective of which political party is in office. I think this will be a beginning of a new window, a resetting of Ghana, where genuine people who really want to serve Ghana will enter politics.
Okay. Mr. Johnny.
Yeah. Some time ago, I told you I was a union rep before for Unison in the UK.
Real. For real.
So I wore two hats, one as a member of staff and one as a union rep. Now, I remember taking somebody to head of administration because he has a member of staff who has misbehaved in certain ways. And the first person I asked, the guy who took us to the top was that, did he give the guy a leaflet on a code of conduct?
Yeah.
And he said no. Administration said no, this is no case. Let the man go and go train him.
Yeah.
So it's very important.
They must know what
they are supposed to be doing.
Indeed.
Generally, you expect that people would think they know what they do. They don't. They have other ways and means of analyzing the situation. So it's a good thing, and it streamlines, the expectation of what the president wants done. I'm happy with it, and I think we should continue like that.
All right.
It's so broad.
Yes.
It's so broad that there'll be eventually human beings there'll be little gaps. But it's a start. We'll continue to smarten it up as we move forward.
Okay. You're watching GTV Breakfast. My guest, John Kuuku, Dsane, Professor Bruce. We're looking at the launch of the Code of Conduct by the President of the Republic yesterday. And on the line now, we do have former Executive Director of Ghana Integrity Initiative, spokesperson on corruption issues. He's a prominent commentator on asset declaration enforcement, and he's a governance and anti-corruption advocate, Mr. Vitus Azim. Mr. Azim, good morning. Welcome to the show. First of all, your initial thoughts about the launch of the Code of Conduct by President Mahama yesterday.
Well, I think that what the president has done is a good move. It's a step in the right direction for the fight against corruption. However, I want to say that this is not his first code of conduct that he has made for his appointees. In his first term, I remember that he did a similar thing. But we never heard of any punishment based on that code of conduct. The second thing is that he's limiting it to his appointees. There is a code of conduct for public officers bill pending. It has been pending for quite some time. Just almost as long as the right to information bill that was pending. That is all embracing. That covers all public officers, not just political appointees. And that code of conduct bill needs to be brought before Parliament if the president is really committed on controlling public officers and the use of state resources.
So you want it to be a bill?
It's a bill already.
It's a bill already.
Just that with the change of government and Parliament, they probably need to look. This government needs to look at it again. They make some changes and bring it before Parliament.
So it's not signed into law.
What the president has done is not. I don't think it has a legal backing so far. It's just an administrative control over his appointees.
So in the
bill, when enacted, would have legal backing.
Are you saying?
I think that's more important, and that's why that bill has been delaying all this while.
Okay.
Governments they don't want to send it.
They don't want to sign it
to Parliament for approval.
Are you saying, Mr. Azim, that in your words, because this code of conduct has no legal backing, if somebody gets fired tomorrow for not declaring his assets, he can actually challenge the decision? Are you saying that?
If the person is not a political appointee, that person can challenge it. But the political appointees, they owe their position to the president.
Yes.
The president can hire and fire.
Yes.
So the political appointees cannot actually challenge the president on this.
Okay.
But if you are an ordinary public officer, like a chief director, the president cannot use this to fire the person.
Let me tell you.
I'm not a lawyer, but that's my understanding of it.
Let me quote what he said in his speech. He says, though the document often uses the term minister, it applies broadly to deputy ministers, presidential staffers, CEOs and their deputies, Council of State members, board members, and all other political appointees within the executive arm of government, including him, the president, the vice president, the chief of staff, the executive secretary, and all advisors. They are all bound by this code. These are the people who this code of conduct covers. Are you satisfied?
Yes, not that he keeps using political appointees or his appointees.
Yes.
Civil servants are not his appointees.
No. This doesn't
but
cover
they are public
servants.
officers.
Yes.
So that's the point that I'm making. That for him, he can fire those that he has appointed. But those that are not appointed by him, he cannot use his code of conduct to fire them. Unless he can now refer to the Commission on Human Rights that a particular public officer has not declared his or her assets. Then the commission will investigate and take appropriate action. But I'm saying that if the president had brought the code of conduct bill to Parliament for it to be enacted, it will have more weight, more legal backing.
All right. You have made a couple of statements. You want the names of defaulting appointees to be published. So far, the president has said that those who missed the deadline have up until tomorrow, and he's fined them 3 months' salary. And if they don't declare by tomorrow, they should consider themselves dismissed. Are you satisfied with this, or you want to see the names as well before?
No, see, because you and I don't even know who are involved. So if tomorrow they say they have all declared, can you challenge it? But if we had got a list yesterday that these are the people who have not declared, and that they have been given up to tomorrow to declare, then when they don't declare, we can cross-check. The journalists can even go to the Auditor General and write information bill request for the comprehensive list of people who have declared and those who have not declared. And for a long time, so that's what some of us have been calling for, that the Auditor General should publish the names of those who have declared. If he's afraid that if he publishes those who have not declared, they will be taken on, he can at least declare, just publish those who have declared. They have done nothing wrong. I'm just saying that 1, 2, 3 people have declared their assets. That leaves out those that have not declared for Ghanaians to know who have not declared.
Right.
Unfortunately, the Auditor General has not been bold enough to do this for a long time. So we are just saying that if the president has admitted that someone is appointed and have not declared, they should publish the names so that we know them.
Right.
So that tomorrow, at the end of the day, they will begin to panic.
Right.
It's even possible that someone has declared, but his name is included in those that have not declared.
Sure.
So that correction can be made.
Okay. The 3 months salary forfeiture for those who didn't declare on time, you think it's punitive enough?
Well, it is an administrative action that the president has taken, and it may be punitive, but these are people that are supposed to be living on their salaries. It is not a suspension. So if you just say that forfeit your 3 months salary, it doesn't look practical. And we've heard these things in the past before, and nobody has followed up to know whether they've actually declared their assets or not. There are times that you say, I'm giving my 1 month, some minister say he wants to take a salary and all that. Nobody follows up. They may not be taking their salaries. They will be fulfilling their salaries. But they are probably getting money from other sources, probably illegal sources that they are living on. So I don't think that that is a good enough thing. It's a punishment, yes, but the law, the Article 286, in fact, and the 287 require that if you have not declared or if you have declared falsely, it should be reported or you complain to the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice that will investigate and take appropriate action. So
you want to see the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice step into these code of conduct breaches? Is that correct?
Can you repeat that?
Would you want the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, being that the body that the Constitution entrusts with handling code of conduct breaches, would you like to see them more involved in this, or you think they are being sidelined or sidestepped?
Yes, I would obviously want to see them more involved in this, because you see, there are sanctions. When they investigate and find that you have actually not filed or filed inaccurately, their sanctions include banning you from future public office holding. So it is, and it has a legal backing. unlike the present code of conduct that he is talking about, that is my difference with the whole entire process. Yes, it's a good step, but it's not strong enough. And the correct body, in fact, we have even called for the amendment of the Act 550, because the amendment contradicts what the Constitution says. The Constitution in Article 286 says that upon assumption of office, but the Act says within 6 months upon assumption of office, which is a contravention. And Parliament cannot enact a law that conflicts with the provisions of the Constitution.
Right.
But parliamentarians have kept quiet over this all these years because it is in their interest. They don't want to disclose early. And we have said that if you take 6 months to disclose, what is the guarantee that within that 6 months you couldn't have acquired wealth illegally? And now included it as something that you brought into office.
Okay. Well, Mr. John Kuuku has a question for you. He's one of my guests here, right. Mr. Azim.
Mr. Azim, I'm only wondering whether you have a holistic approach towards different sectors. Say, in the field of journalism, they have a code of conduct. In the field of medicine, they have a code of conduct. Is that around? Do we have that? I would have thought so.
We have, yes, some of them have. In Parliament, I remember working on a code of conduct for parliamentarians some time ago, a long time ago.
Right.
But you see, like I said, they don't have the legal backing that you can actually enforce. And so these people, either public officers, the public officer code of conduct bill that is pending,
right,
would be more binding on all these people than the professional or organizational codes of conduct. Like when I was at GII, we had a code of conduct, but then it's within Transparency International.
Okay.
I get you.
I think we need to push it because the code of conduct is so important in the workplace. Very, very important in the workplace.
Mr. Azim,
very important.
Mr. Azim, our current code of, conflict of interest disclosures and things like they rely on you self-reporting. Even the assets declaration, you report it. Is there any way of anybody checking to see that you declared 2 houses, but you have 200, or you declared 6 pairs of shoes, but
there's nobody checking these things. You see, we had, as far back as 2008, we went with the 2 parliamentary committees to go and talked about this. There's no airline on that Act 550. We asked that one verification. First, public disclosure. It will declare it should be made public. Under the PNDC, it was published in the Gazette. But with the change to democratic, that was put aside. So publication or disclosure. It's called a public asset disclosure regime.
Right.
So if you put it there, you don't disclose it. What's the essence of it? What if you have told lies in that document? Then verification. If you have said that you have 2 houses in Kumasi, can an officer of the Auditor General
go
to Kumasi and find out whether you actually have those houses? At least check at the Lands Commission.
Right.
Or in London.
Then today, we ask that your spouse and your children below 18 years, their assets should be included. All these three, the parliamentarians said no way, they won't allow it.
What was their reason?
They gave so many reasons. One, that if you disclose, armed robbers will come after you, and then relatives will come after you. The relatives will know that you have so much wealth. And for the spouse and children, they say that your spouse and children are not public officers.
No.
So why should they be made to declare? So as a result, the Auditor General shelved that LI. So up to now, that act doesn't have an LI.
Mr. Azim, it's quite interesting that you said they were very reluctant to include their wives and children because they were afraid of armed robbers and things like that. But I'm just wondering, would you be surprised if everybody managed to declare their assets by tomorrow's deadline, which the president has given? It says if you don't declare by tomorrow, consider yourself dismissed. Would you be surprised if everybody passed through? Or you're expecting some dismissals?
I wouldn't be surprised because some of them probably declared it and have not yet given it to the Auditor General. And in any case, you must be a very rich person to need a very long time to declare your assets and liabilities. You may not have the supporting documents, like if you want some information from the bank. But at least on the face of it, you should be able to declare your assets to meet the president's deadline. In any case, the president had given that deadline a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So what will be your excuse?
We'll leave it here, Mr. Azim. Your thoughts are quite insightful. He's anti-corruption and governance advocate, and he's been talking about the launch of the Code of Conduct. Dr. Bruce, Prof. Bruce.
I think he has a very good stature in politics or even in media. So I want to maybe give him an assignment that he should intensify the fire by reminding this government that there's a bill pending before Parliament for a long time.
Yeah,
and that bill must be passed.
Okay.
So if that bill is there and the president has given another code of conduct, it's like you are trying to dodge.
All right.
So he should intensify the fire that the one in Parliament must be passed.
It covers all public servants, civil servants,
it covers
everybody.
It covers
more
everybody.
all-encompassing.
It covers
before we leave, I'll just give a teaser of what will be coming in the next segment. It has to do with the Save the Judiciary demo that took place yesterday with the MPP at the forefront and the LPG, PPP, and NDP also supporting. Quite a few things happened. They went through town. They presented their petition to the Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations, Mr. Ndogbe. But there was also some skirmishes involving the minority leader, where he is alleged to have assaulted a police officer. The police have issued a statement on that particular issue, and so has Osahin Alexander Apenyo Markin. I just want to read the police statement to you this morning. Let's see. Police. So this is their statement. The Ghana Police Service has reviewed several video footages on an alleged assault on a police officer by Honorable Alexander Apenyo Markin during the just-ended demonstration. Following the review, the service has written to the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament requesting the release of Honorable Alexander Apenyo Markin to assist ongoing investigation into the alleged incident. Officer in question will also be assisting the investigation. Of course, there's also been a statement by Honorable Apenyo Markin. It's quite a very long one. We'll read it and then possibly we'll play the video. So this is the statement that he said, I write to strongly condemn the reprehensible and disgraceful act of violence perpetrated against me by a uniformed police officer, Constable Forson, at the entrance of Parliament House during today's peaceful and highly successful Save the Judiciary demonstration. As the leader of the demonstration, I led the protests together with the leadership of other political parties to Parliament, one of the designated stops on our route, to formally present our petition. Earlier, we had delivered copies to the Supreme Court, and from Parliament, we were to proceed to the Jubilee House. Upon arrival at Parliament House, national organizer and other party leaders had already been granted access. Deputy Minority Leader, Honorable Apieje, and I were then invited by party's Communication Director, Mr. Hiangba, to proceed and join them. As I approached the barricade, without any provocation, a uniformed police officer stationed behind the barricade, Constable Forson, a tall, fair, heavily built officer, deliberately struck the left side of my chest with the full force of his right palm, directly near my heart. The impact of the hit dazed me, and I was visibly shaken and short of breath. In that moment, I spontaneously protested his conduct, asking why he would seek to harm me. The inspector, who was facilitating my access, along with other officers, quickly intervened and assisted me into the restricted area where I had to lean against the wall at the entrance of Parliament House to prevent myself from collapsing. A National Service personnel from Parliament, whom I know, approached me and offered me water. 2 CID officers from Parliament also came to check on me and assisted me to a nearby security restroom where I laid down on a bench to stabilize. Mr. Hiagba, Mr. Nana Boache, and MPP Greater Accra Regional Organizer stayed by my side throughout, providing support and ensuring my well-being. After regaining some composure, I was helped to the washroom to wash my face. And though still unwell, I made a deliberate effort to compose myself, calm myself down, and rejoin the leadership of the delegation to present the petition, determined not to let the incident create a scene or derail the purpose of our peaceful protest. Following the presentation of the petition, senior police officers and the Deputy Marshal of Parliament attempted to locate the officer involved, but he had mysteriously disappeared from the scene. It's suspected that he may have been discreetly removed to prevent further attention and avoid scrutiny. Had this act of aggression become widely known in that moment, it could have compromised the peaceful nature of the entire demonstration. What makes this assault particularly egregious is that the officer was being openly reprimanded by his superiors and fellow officers at the time, who cautioned him against his conduct. Yet, he defiantly responded that he didn't care who I was, leader or not, and that he would carry out his work regardless. It was a deliberate, reckless, and targeted attack by an officer who clearly knew my identity and chose to physically assault me in broad daylight in the full view of his senior colleagues. It's therefore most unfortunate that some individuals would seek to twist the narrative and suggest that I was the aggressor when I was merely protesting the officer's conduct. This unprovoked, disrespectful, and shameful attack is a stain on the professionalism of the Ghana Police Service. Throughout the demonstration, conduct of officers at the Supreme Court and the Jubilee House was commendable, professional, and respectful. Some were even seen sharing water for demonstrators, a testament to the discipline and decorum expected of public officers. What occurred at Parliament was an embarrassing and dangerous departure from this standard, and it is unacceptable. Accordingly, I am formally filing a petition at the IGPs to demand a full investigation into the conduct of Constable Forson. There were numerous senior police officers who witnessed the appalling conduct of the constable firsthand and can corroborate events. I've always respected and worked cordially with the Ghana Police Service, and I hold our law enforcement institutions in the highest regard. This incident is a disgrace to the standards and professionalism expected of those tasked with protecting citizens. As such, it must be treated with the contempt it deserves. It is evident that elements within the NDC's propaganda machinery are now weaponizing this incident to deflect attention from the overwhelming success and peaceful conduct of our demonstration. The aim is clear: to distort the narrative and shift focus away from the core constitutional concerns we raised. We must not be distracted from the purpose of the demonstration. We must defend the Constitution and the independence of the judiciary, principles that must be protected at all costs. In light of these facts, I urge all media outlets and the general public to refrain from spreading misleading narratives and to join me in condemning the unprofessional and disrespectful actions of Constable Forson, Sahin Alexander Kwamena Apenyo Markin. Now, we have a video of the incident, which I'm sure we will play. But let me speak with MP for Wa West, Honorable Peter Lanchini Tobo. Honorable, good morning. Welcome to the show. Have you followed this particular incident? What are your thoughts initially?
Good morning, my brother Kafui. How are you? And good morning to our charity viewers.
We do. We're good. We're well. How are you two, sir?
I'm doing very well.
Good.
Grace has found me. I'm doing perfectly well.
Fantastic.
Just a few comments.
Go ahead.
I want to thank His Excellency the President, the Chairman of the National Security Council, for giving a lot of oxygen to the 1992 Constitution. He's demonstrated to the world that he's a Democrat. I think I would not enjoy these kinds of demonstrations in the past 8 years. But he came in and said, listen, we all agreed in 1992 that we'll be governed by rules and regulations. And we adopted the 1992 Constitution as the highest standard of measure. So there's nobody who would stop anybody from enjoying rights that are guaranteed under the Constitution. I also want to thank the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Sentete Yokonu, for being so professional in dealing with the demonstrators yesterday, allowing them to enjoy their constitutional mandated rights. And the fact is that the rights guaranteed under the Constitution also brings some challenges in terms of responsibilities. If you have rights, remember you have responsibilities. What happened yesterday, from the beginning to the end, I give a plus to the police for a job well done. But what happened at Parliament House was so embarrassing. When I reviewed the videos, people do not know that after demonstrations, what the police will do will be to go and do something we call after action review. They are going to review the whole process, learn best practices, and if there are some errors in there, they will try to correct those errors so that they can become better tomorrow. So whether Honorable Apenyo Markins, my very good friend, the minority leader, whether he writes to the IGP or petitions the IGP, what will happen is that after action review, if they need to do anything that has to do with discipline, the police will automatically do that. If they need to do anything that has to do with investigating a breach during the process, the police will automatically do that. You don't even need to petition. But Honorable Apenyo Markins in his statement made it very clear that, according to him, the gentleman hit him with an open palm. If you understand security, when a security officer hits you with an open palm, it is a measure of resistance that the person is stopping. He's stopping you from doing the wrong thing. He didn't give me a blow. He gave me an open palm. The open palm is telling you that, please stop.
Go back.
Stop from what you are doing. But what is it at all? Richard Ayagba is the only person who signed the notification to the police. And by the police standard, the only person they know is Richard Ayagba. So if you come and say you are the organizer of the demonstration, you are the leader of the demonstration, your name was not on the notification letter to the police. It is for Richard Ayagba to come and tell the police where we have gotten to. We need 10 people from the leadership to be able to accompany us to go and present the petition to the Speaker of Parliament. And it is the duty of Richard Ayagba to tell the police at the entry point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people are the ones we are entering with. And the police will provide them security and allow them access. If the person who signed the notification enters the place and you come behind, and you are forcing to enter, the police have every right to stop you. You can even be the former president. They are dealing with law, and the law said the organizers of the special event. Were you the organizer? Was your name on the list of the notification to the police? If your name was not there and somebody signed for all of you, it is for that person to tell the police who are the organizers and who are supposed to do the presentation of the petition.
Right.
You don't come bulldozing your way as the minority leader. Please, at that material moment, you are not the leader of the demonstration. You are part of the leadership of the demonstration. But it is for somebody to determine how many of you are going to be allowed to enter, and the police will guide you to do that.
Okay. So
the second issue is that, listen, in demonstrations like this, the police are wired. Some of the police are wired, and that's why you saw the videos, and they are reviewing the videos. When the police are wired, you don't come telling a story. You bring a video to show how the police assaulted you and how you responded.
What does wired mean? When you say the police is wired, what do you mean? When you say the policeman is wired, what does it mean?
When the policeman is wired, the policeman has a camera on himself.
Okay. Body cam.
And whatever he is doing, somebody is watching elsewhere, and later on they'll review the video to see whether his actions as a police officer were professional or not. So what happening is that the police who were wired, there were several videos that were generated for the police to review in the after-action review. Okay. And reviewing those videos, if they found that the policeman has assaulted Honorable Appenyo Markins as alleging, it will be a piece of evidence. If they didn't find that and they find Honorable Appenyo Markins hating the police officer and saying that it is reflex, we want to see what actually brought the reflex.
All right, I get you.
So this is a very good case, and I am happy that the Inspector General of Police have written to the Speaker of Parliament, calling for the release of the minority leader, Honorable Appenyo Markins, to go and assist the police in investigating this matter. And I'm going to follow this matter to the end of it. Will Speaker release him? Speaker is a procedural man, and what Speaker will do is to follow procedure. He will automatically release him.
Okay. The Honorable Minority Leader has filed a petition to the IGP to demand a full investigation. The IGP also is, the police is also conducting an investigation into the issue. So investigation on investigation. Abi? So basically what it means is that Honorable Appenyo Markins himself will be very happy that the IGP is even investigating the matter and requesting to come and support. Already he's filing a petition. All right. But let's go ahead. I've seen a lot in my life, complainant become an accused person. Okay. And let's wait until we get there. So you are saying that if a policeman puts his open palm onto my chest, I should take it that he's not assaulting me? That open arm, under training, you are taught to use your open arm if you want to stop somebody. Okay, so that's a stop. Yes, that is a stop. Okay. Stop. If you don't stop, they will push you. But if you see a policeman giving you a blow, it means that it has become so physical that he needs to get you down. Okay. But if he himself said it was an open palm, if it's an open palm, he never intended to assault him if he actually even used the open palm. So, but he is saying that the policeman deliberately struck the left side of his chest with the full force of his right palm directly near his heart. That was a description of a civilian who do not understand that when you're organizing demonstrations, these things are expected. That was a description of a civilian who do not understand that in demonstration of this caliber with the number of people that you brought onto the street, you are not going to have a wedding. You are going to demonstrate. And in demonstration, the police are prepared for it. And that is why even they carry all kinds of weapons in terms of public order management to be able to deal with the public that is out there to demonstrate. Of course. We are not going to have a party. So you should understand that when you organize a demonstration, some of these things, expect them. But that is his story. All right. Let's wait until the investigations come out and we'll see what the police will say. I'm glad you put on your hat as a former police officer and you're also an MP as well. So you understand these things very well. Thank you so much. MP for Wa West, Honorable Peter Lanchene Tobu, giving us some education that when the policeman puts his open palm into your chest, the man says, stop right there. If he pushes you, then it's going to a new level. And then if he blows you out, then you know, say, it's a whole new level. Calm you down. Interesting stuff here. Yeah. We're making attempts to speak with the Honorable Minority Leader himself to hear from him on the show. But just your thoughts, Mr. Jani, have you ever been on the demo before? In Ghana? Yes, outside, not here. Okay. Outside. All right. How was it like? Oh, quiet, and you make your point. You don't sing and dance and sing aso and things like that? Well, a few songs and hooting and all that, but this aggressive behavior is totally unacceptable. You know, when you're trying to practice democracy, there are ways of doing it. Authoritarian democracy is not the way forward. You know, it's like going backwards. And it sounds as if the MPP group is now, having been in the wilderness now, they don't seem to understand what is going on. They are probably suffering from PTS, post-traumatic stress syndrome.
And they are just creating scenes that the general public, I suspect, are not happy about. They say it's for the CJ, and then it's politics. So it's CJ 10%, politics 20%. Only a few months ago, President Mahama and his administration got an overwhelming majority to run the country. 4 or 5 months on, why are you disturbing the man? Calling him names, a dictator, and ambushing and all that. No. The public that voted are seeing what is happening. They are not happy with you. Go to Afrobarometer and ask whether they like what is going on. The youth don't like this politics. They are upset. They are annoyed as the way we manage things. If you lost an election, go and sit down and try and find strategies of, ways of dealing with the NDC. But to try and, every move to try and stop them from what they are doing. And I'm glad President Mahama is just focused. Every day he brings out his programs and activities.
He has a deadline, 120 days.
Yes. And you go through that and we'll continue till the next 4 years.
All right.
As for the business or the president wanting to come back, it is not the way forward. It's not what one is talking about.
Thank you so much, Mr. John Kuuku.
Bruce,
I have two quick
comments for me.
Comments. Number one, to go personal on Apenyu Martins. That I beg him, that he should go into self-introspection. Seriously.
No, you're talking like a psychologist.
Yes.
What type of person does he want Ghanaians to label him to be? He should really engage in self-introspection. If he needs psychological assistance, we will help him. I can predict his political future. So he should go into introspection and you will find something about himself, and perhaps he may become a changed person.
He has a good name to Apenyu.
Yeah.
The home is good.
Yeah.
Don't be so.
Number two, I would like to congratulate Osei Tutu II for chalking 75 years.
Yeah, today is his birthday.
Today is his birthday. So, Nana, congratulations.
Yes.
And I wish him God's guidance and wisdom, especially in the mediating role he's playing in the Boko conflicts.
Maybe so.
God should support him to achieve peace for that area.
Okay.
And secondly, he must leave a legacy. If there are some miscreants who are in the Ashanti region engaging in galamsey, he should crack them.
Yeah.
He should crucify them for me.
Thank you, gentlemen. A psychiatrist and a psychologist. It's mental issues here, man.
Yeah.
We need to change mindset.
Change
mindset.
Indeed. Still to come, the Accra by Night experience, a conversation on the demonstration that took place yesterday, and just around the corner is a climate conference conversation that you cannot miss. Marty T will take over. Stick around. This is GTV Breakfast. My name is Kafui. Good morning.